is indeed a messenger of God, no matter how would he deny it. But the truth remains. The truth remains. The basic doctrine concerning God was already taught to us by Brother Felix Manalo. What about the apostles? They said they came from the apostles. When the apostles were preaching, give me the good news. When the apostles were preaching, whom did the apostles teach as the only true God? Which Brother Felix Manalo also taught us. Did the apostles teach that the one God is composed of three? In 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and the verse is 6, I read, "Yet there is for us only one God, the Father." What did the apostles say? The apostles said, "Yet for us there is only one God." The apostles are in the true church. Mr. Kidding is teaching that the only one God is not only the Father, or the Son, the Holy Spirit. It is a combination of three gods. But the apostles said, "For us there is only one God, and that is the Father." The apostles did not say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Did not Brother Felix Manalo taught us this, my beloved brethren? Yes. Therefore, the Spirit of Christ and the Spirit of the apostles is the same Spirit that guided Brother Felix Manalo. That's why we, most of us, were also Catholics before. But why did we leave the Roman Catholic Church? Because just in the basic, they are already wrong. How much more on the other doctrines of the Catholic Church? That is why we cannot accept that the Catholic Church is the true church. They are the fulfillment of the apostolized church. We believe then that when Christ said, "I shall have other sheep," there shall be one flock, that's one church. There shall be one shepherd. That shepherd is Brother Felix Manalo, not Jesus Christ, because Christ said, "There will be," that is in the future. No matter how he would attack the personality of Brother Felix Manalo, we remain in believing that he is a messenger of God because of the teachings. Because of the teachings. In 1915, in the Sunday Visitor, which was published in Huntington, Indiana, it mentions that the Pope's title is Vicarius Filii Dei. You are just lucky because we don't have it now. I forgot, I'm only human. But there is a Catholic magazine which appeared on April 18, 1915, according to the book, The Beast of the Revelation.
Look, I don't believe that because the Catholic Church has never used that.
Okay,
but
well,
you do admit, now, are you admitting then, are you admitting that the stories about 666 being the Pope are lies?
Your question is
My
still
question is this. Isn't that what you just said, that you admitted that you publish lies?
That your question is questionable because why is it that in the book, The Beast of Revelation, April 18, 1915, they mentioned in the Sunday Visitor, which appeared in Huntington, Indiana, that the Pope used in his
You said at the beginning of your comment that you admit that you lifted that from someplace else.
Exactly.
My implication is that...
We do not deny that.
And you admit that it's wrong.
No.
Are you saying it's true?
We do not admit that it is wrong.
Are you saying that the Pope's tiara has 666? Vicarius Filii Dei, are you saying that?
Vicarius Filii Dei, that is a Latin word, means vicar of the
I know what it means. Is that on the Pope's tiara?
According to
according to your knowledge, is it on there or is it not?
According to what I have learned from the book, The Beast of Revelation, April 18, 1915, on our Sunday Visitor, they published that in the Pope's mitre or mitre.
What you have done is you accepted uncritically an anti-Catholic work. You mentioned the book.
Now, it's your problem to debate with the Adventists, not to me.
You use their argument.
Now,
you have used their argument. You admit it's wrong, and now you say, "Don't complain to me. Argue with them."
Question: in your books, does it say 616 or 666?
In the ancient manuscripts, it has both, but 666 is obviously the proper one.
Which Catholic book could you show me that is 616?
Ancient manuscripts. Do you have any books?
I'm asking you a Catholic book right now.
Okay, I will give you one.
The Catholic book?
Look at Nestle's New Testament, which gives the Greek. It gives a reference in the footnote to both.
I will not also believe you because you could not also show me.
We now have a 7-minute rebuttal from the negative side, Mr. Keating.
I hope you're all paying very close attention to what he's doing. He refuses to answer questions straight. He admits that Pasugo publishes lies, and it says it's not our fault because we took it from another publication. He won't go back to the original sources. I'm continually amazed at Mr. Ventilation's apparent ignorance of what the doctrine of, not just general ignorance, his ignorance of what the doctrine of the Trinity means. I've never come across somebody who talks in public about the Trinity and doesn't even know its definition. He claims to have read my book and apparently other Catholic books. How come he doesn't know what the doctrine of the Trinity is? He keeps saying it means 3 gods. It doesn't. Every Protestant book that talks about it, every Catholic book that talks about it, every Eastern Orthodox book that talks about it, makes the distinction very clearly. What's the problem with Iglesia Ni Cristo? You see, Iglesia's position will fall apart if it admits that the Trinity talks about 1 God, not 3 gods. He asked me for any proof at all that the Holy Spirit is divine. Let me cite a verse for you. Look at Acts 5. Look at Acts 5. That's the story at the beginning there of Ananias and Sapphira. Remember what they did? They sold their property, gave part of it to the common fund. But they kept back some, and they lied about it. They committed fraud. They said, we're giving all of our property, all of the proceeds to the church, but they were lying. And what happened? Both of them were struck dead by God, right? Verse 5:3 says, they defrauded the Holy Spirit. That's verse 5:3 in Acts. The very next verse says, it is God, not man, that you have defrauded. Verse 3 says, you defrauded the Holy Spirit. The next verse says, it is God that you have defrauded. Therefore, the Holy Spirit is God. All the early Christians knew that. They didn't have a problem with it. It's only once Felix Manalo came to the U.S., got in his head that he would borrow from offshoots from Protestantism, such as the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons, that he came up with an idea that the Holy Spirit isn't God, that Jesus isn't God. Because why? Because he could go back to the Philippines preaching a new gospel. Preaching a new gospel different from the one taught by the Catholic Church. And he could get a following. He wasn't out for truth. He wasn't out for truth. But remember, even if an angel should preach to you a new gospel, right? Manalo claims to be that angel from the Philippines. He uses the term angel to describe himself as messenger. That's the false gospel. And it's not original with Manalo. He wasn't even bright enough to make it up on his own. He borrowed it from others. Let me repeat, because apparently it's necessary for Mr. Ventilation's benefit, a few of the verses I mentioned at the beginning of my talk. God the Father is called Lord of Lords and King of Kings. So is Jesus in Revelation 17:4.